the case here, why can't we do it here? You know, and where do we draw the line? Do we not fear that we're leading a dual life, the brother asks, or the sister, I don't know. You know, honestly, this is a question that is very troubling. Where do you draw the line? I don't have a response to that. Should we enforce the hijab upon sisters who come to the masjid, for example? On the one hand, if we do, we're preserving the purity of the masjid. On the other hand, if we do, we're driving away sisters who might not wear the hijab and would feel uncomfortable putting it on just for lecturing and leading. Obviously for the prayer, alhamdulillah, all the sisters wear the hijab. That's a good thing, alhamdulillah, at least that for the prayer, all the sisters put the hijab on. But for a lecture, and they come to the masjid, obviously in the auditorium, you're not going to enforce it. By the way, some groups would. Some MSAs would enforce it. You're not going to attend it. They say proper etiquette required. Do we enforce it or not? It's a deep question. It is a deep question. I can't give a good yes and no response, because as I said, on the one hand, to be strict brings about a sense of purity, which is very good. On the other hand, it does lead you to accusations of double standards, which is true, because the same brothers who are so angry if the sister doesn't wear the hijab are going to be the ones chit-chatting to the non-Muslims outside when they're in class, right? Let's be realistic again, okay? And I blame the brothers because that is more of a brother problem than a sister's one, but that's the reality. That the brothers are going to, chit-chat with the non-Muslim females of their classes, their professors, their teachers. Okay, professors, teachers, maybe, you can say, oh, there's a reason to, you need to ask questions. But how about the other females of the class? There's no need to interact with them to the level that most of you guys do, let's be real, okay? There's no need to do that. And yet when it comes to the Muslim sisters, all of a sudden you have a different standard for them. So there is an accusation of double standards. But suppose you're doing this thing with the non-Muslim. Should you also do it with the Muslim? I mean, come on. So there is, if you're going to flirt with the non-Muslim, why should you flirt with the Muslim? Okay, there are double standards that are going to be, the issue will be raised. I can't answer this question except to say that these are one of those issues we're going to have to work out a healthy compromise. And by the way, this is a healthy compromise. You look at our seating arrangements, it's separate. This seating arrangement would be considered heretical in many Muslim lands, right? Not just in Saudi Arabia, in many Muslim lands. To have brothers and sisters sitting next to one another is unbelievable. It never happens in a public setting like this. Okay, it's not gonna happen. Also, the hijab is not being enforced, and I think in these public lectures it should not be enforced. Many sisters are not up to the level of wearing the hijab. Fine. Many brothers are not praying 5 times a day. That's more important. Should we test the brothers? Unless you pray 5 times a day, you can't attend this talk? No, we don't do that. We should let people, we need to be more lax in this regard. Let people discover their own spirituality bit by bit. Okay? No point being harsh and strict in this regard. We're going to have to let people be Islamic at their own pace. I think that is actually a good thing. A lot of questions about practicing law in Islam. That's again one of those issues that I can bring up and say it's a problem, and I can't really give a response to. Practicing law in Islam is problematic. Practicing law in America as a Muslim is problematic. Why is it problematic? Let me ask you, if there was a job opening in a local Hindu temple, and you were told part of your duties is to clean the idols, to make sure that there's space to put the offerings, to light the candles. You don't actually have to bow your head down, but make the entire situation such that other people can come and do that. I think we all understand that's not something Muslim is allowed to do. We have to realize when it comes to legislation, it is just as important as worship in Islam. Worship belongs to Allah, legislation belongs to Allah. Okay? So just like it's not allowed to prepare the way for people to do idol worship, let them do it legally. Legally they have the right. According to some madhabs, even in an Islamic state, according to some madhabs, idol worshippers can worship in their temples. We're not going to prevent them. According to other madhabs, only Jews and Christians can live in an Islamic state. That's the right. Ikhtilaf amongst the madhabs. Even in an Islamic state, legally they might have their right. But do I have to go and help them do it? No. Similarly, the legal framework of the American criminal system is against Islam. For me to defend somebody using a set of laws which I believe are un-Islamic and kufr, and for me to fight on behalf of people and defend or indict on behalf of an entire system which has nothing to do with my religion, it is similar. In fact, it is the same metaphor as preparing the idol worship and defending the idol worship without you doing it yourself. Because you are upholding the legality. You're earning your income from the legality of a system that accepts other than Allah as the one who gives the Sharia. And that's where the problem arises. At the same time, to just say it's all kufr and you can't go into law is also ridiculous. Firstly, there are aspects of law which are purely halal. No doubt about it. Patent law, aspects of immigration law, nothing to do with the Sharia. The Sharia allows you, to practice immigration law and patent and many corporate, laws and whatnot. It's only some things, marriage and divorce and civic laws and punishments and penal codes. These are where you're going to get into problems. But even this, for example, constitutional lawyers, we need to have Muslims who understand Aqidah, who understand the Constitution, and can give a solution. So, all I say is any brother or sister who wants to practice law in America, please study Islam and the Sharia and Aqidah inside out. So you understand the dangers of entering into non-Muslim law. It's a very dangerous arena.